Hey, what's up guys? Jack and Matt here from the Toasty Bros, and today we bought a $400 pre-built from Amazon. Does it suck?
Honestly, we don't know, but we are pretty sure it's gonna suck. But before we get into that, we have to give a big thanks to today's sponsor, Squarespace. Squarespace is an all-in-one platform to help you build a beautiful online presence and also run your business.
Thanks again to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. Now let's go ahead and talk about this hunk of PC.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, what we have right here is most likely gonna be a really crappy PC, spoiler alert. But what this thing is basically a $400 PC that you all recommended we buy, which again, you made us spend money on this thing. We don't like you guys for that. But anyways, all jokes aside, we made a video recently, hit the eye in the top right corner, talking about what pre-built systems you shouldn't buy on Amazon, and we bought one of those. So you could see in person exactly what you're getting for your money. So yeah, if you do like these videos, be sure to subscribe. And also, if you want to be a part of these selection processes where we actually buy one of these computers, follow us on Twitch. We stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. Links in the description down below. But we're gonna go ahead and open this thing. We got it from Amazon Prime shipped for $400. Not expecting a great computer, but we're just gonna see what we can get. It's actually an Apevia case. For those who are longtime viewers of the Toasty Bros, Apevia has a special place in our heart. But we're gonna go ahead and take this thing out, potentially, and see what we got inside. So as far as packaging goes, I mean, I can't really complain about them putting the actual case in another box. That's pretty safe to ship this computer. But I mean, the main selling points behind these computers and what gets people in trouble is the fact that they load these things up with RGB. So I want to bet this thing is gonna look kind of nice, but the actual specs you're getting with this thing for the money are not great. They're really just luring people in to buy these computers because they're all flashy, they look good, and try to deliver very subpar performance using OEM parts, using older processors that are not really worth getting nowadays, and if so, maybe for like a cheaper PC. But overall, they're just not selling the greatest value computers out there. So let's go ahead and take this guy out and see what we have. Okay, so here it is. It looks like the power cable is nestled right here. This was actually shipped from the company who creates this PC, which we'll leave on the screen right here. They have sold their PCs on eBay before, but we recently noticed that they started making them on Amazon again. It just looks like it's a fulfillment way, just a way to increase sales and an extra sales channel. So I understand from a business standpoint why they're doing that, but we're gonna go ahead and take this thing out. One thing I don't really like is they really didn't include any packaging material on the inside of this. We'll go ahead and take the side panel off. But as you can tell, what they went for was something that had tempered glass, RGB fans, and well, you'll see what the performance looks like on the inside. It's not gonna look too promising, I promise you that. Okay, so let's take this off and, well, there she is. That is what's inside. Not that exciting. I'll go ahead and raise the table a little bit so we can see a better up-close shot of this thing. But it's your basic Intel system. Now this thing is supposed to come with an i5-2400, which if you haven't seen some of our Optiplex videos, we've used many times, and it's a great processor for really cheap builds. But again, this is a $400 computer. We'll give it a shot. We're gonna run benchmarks, don't worry. This does come with 8 gigs of RAM, so 2 sticks. Pretty solid. I was expecting like 4, but 8 gigs is pretty solid. The power supply is looks like a Apevia power supply? Yeah. Astro. This might come with the chip case. I don't know for sure, or maybe they have a deal with Apevia to where they get these cases and the power supplies together. Not a big deal. I think the power supply will probably be fine. It's not the wellest known brand out there, but it'll probably be fine to run this system. Not a huge fan of this USB 3, I'm assuming, running into the middle of the board, but I mean, that's the motherboard manufacturer's fault, so really not much you can do there. But I mean, build quality is not bad. We definitely want to check out the cable management on the back. That is the #1 selling point. You know what? I'll let Jackson look at that because that's his specialty.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, it's
I've seen worse.
I've seen worse. It's definitely like, I mean, they did not do cable management, but hey. So I'm trying to see if I see anything weird. One thing I do notice right away, this is only using 4-pin for the CPU. That's just because this processor is so old that the board didn't even support 8-pin yet. Yeah, I mean, we have the hard drive just plugged in with SATA as it should be. Let's actually pop that out and see if it's, I don't know anything about the drive. So we got the hard drive cage out. It is kind of weird that they screwed it in because it doesn't need to be. That's why I was trying to just pull this out. They're supposed to be like kind of hot swap bays in a sense, but oh, and okay, there goes both brackets. But we have a 1 terabyte Toshiba drive. Let's see if we can find the RPM on here. So the good news is this is a 7200 RPM drive, so didn't really cut too many corners there. Obviously SSD is 120,000% the way to go, especially in a build like this, using old Intel stuff but with Windows 10, an SSD is pretty much essential at that point.
So overall, I mean, the system is not like horrible in terms of like what they're giving you. Yeah, an SSD would be great, but the one glaring thing that we're overlooking and haven't really taken a look at yet is this graphics card that has a VGA port on the back, and that normally is not a good sign for what's to come. So we'll look at that in just a second after we put this hard drive back in.
So to go over the specs of this PC that we have gotten here real quick, we have this Apevia case, which will have the specific model in the description also right here where you'll see it. But Apevia case with a bunch of Apevia RGB fans. We have not turned it on yet to see if they're true RGB or not. So pretty decent looking case, pretty decent looking fans. We also have this Apevia Astro 500 watt power supply, which has mustard and ketchup cables, but honestly Apevia is not the worst brand you can get, so you know, a little bit of props there. We have an i5 2400, that's the second gen i5 you've seen Matt and I use many times, especially if you check out videos like our Minecraft server and basically any video you've ever seen using Optiplex is probably using the i5 2400. It's a good processor, but it's also only worth about 10 bucks to give you an idea. We have an OEM motherboard, which, you know, it's OEM. I mean, you really don't get much cheaper than that. We have two 4 gig sticks of RAM. Do not know the speed yet, but we will figure that out. We have a 1 terabyte Toshiba 7200 RPM hard drive, and we have a GTX 650 graphics card that I think has, is that 1 gig or 2 gigs of VRAM?
Uno gig of VRAM.
1 gig of VRAM, that is cutting it. Most games will not even run off that anymore. So we have a few comparable builds that we decided we would stick with pre-builds for this, because obviously we could blow this out of the water with one of our $400 builds. It would be like triple the amount of specs that you get for the same price, but we're gonna compare some of the pre-built companies to this one. So for the same price, from a company that we actually just did a video on called Light Gaming, they're actually a really good company and they make some really decent pre-builts honestly for the price. You can get an i3 3220, which is a 3rd gen i3 that honestly competes with the i5. Obviously an i3 is a little bit slower because you have a dual core, but it does compete with it. And in gaming, you're really not gonna need a ton of cores. I mean, obviously these are old anyway, so you're gonna be playing lower in games, but the biggest difference though is this one comes with a 1050, GTX 1050 2 gig card, which when we looked at the specs of this one, the comparison, this card was about 20% the efficiency in FPS that a 1050 will get, just to give you an idea of how bad this card is. So that build for 400 bucks, you get relatively the same specs, but a way better graphics card, and it's more of a trustworthy company in my opinion as well. And Matt's gonna talk about one that he found now as well.
Another company that we have worked with in the past is Computer Upgrade King. Now keep in mind, none of these companies paid us to say this. This is just our research that we just did stopping this video to get an idea of up-to-date pricing on pre-builts from other companies. But Computer Upgrade King makes a pre-built system for about $500, which yes, is $100 more than this, but you can actually get a really nice system with a 1-year warranty, which comes with a Ryzen 3 3200G, 8 gigs of RAM, which is an APU system. Yeah, it's not gonna perform very well, but I'd be willing to bet it's still gonna perform better than this, and then give you the awesome upgrade path to a Ryzen 5 3600 and like whatever graphics card system you want in the future and have no problems whatsoever. So really this thing just doesn't make a whole lot of sense for $400. It probably wouldn't make much sense for $300. $200, maybe, I don't know. But this thing is probably not gonna perform very well. So how about we just go ahead and load up some games on this thing and just actually test it, because you know what? Maybe we'll get proven wrong, but I highly doubt it. So this thing's actually kind of cool. The power switch are like little levers, which is kind of interesting. But we have this thing plugged up. We're gonna see what the RGB looks like because again, that's why people buy this thing. So this is a reset switch. This is LED. So you can actually change the LEDs on this thing, which is cool, I guess. But
it's probably on like where it goes through every, okay.
So there you go, there's true RGB. You got the RGB. RGB sells PCs, we know that for sure, but like, you know, this case actually wouldn't be too bad.
The case is actually really quiet.
But hey, we booted into Windows. We're gonna go ahead and launch a couple games after we install them on this hard drive to give you the most real world experience with this computer, and then-
How did it boot so fast?
And just, I don't know, it booted pretty fast for a hard drive.
Kinda scary.
Yeah, let's see how this thing does. All right, guys, the first game we're gonna be testing is CSGO. And right now we are running on, let's go to video settings, running on high settings. Ideally, it's probably not gonna run very well on this, but we're just gonna go with it because that is what it's defaulted to. But we're gonna go ahead and dive into a deathmatch match in Dust 2 and just see what kind of performance we can get. This is definitely by no means a demanding game, so we're gonna see exactly how well this thing can perform, especially in a game like this. Hopefully it does decently for a $400 PC, but you know, we'll see how it goes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are in CSGO. running on high settings. We're getting around 60 FPS, which isn't all that. Oh, nope, there we go. We're down to 30. This guy is blasting his microphone. Great way to start this game. There we go. Anyways, let's run around real quick and see what kind of frame rate we can get. We are running on high settings, but that's not a whole lot to ask for a gaming PC in 2020, especially at this price point. But we're gonna run around and see if the frame rate gets any better and see if I can actually kill somebody. God, this is...
It works, it's good.
It works. I killed somebody. I mean, you know, that doesn't really happen very often, so it definitely performs well enough. Oh!
I think you turned the corner, pulled your pistol out, and waited.
Listen, buddy, I'm a pro. That's what I do. But yeah, hovering around 40 FPS isn't great. You could lower the settings and get better frame rate, but again, like this is CSGO, so it's gonna not be too promising for the other two games we're gonna be testing. All right, I mean, CSGO is playable. As you can tell, the GPU is maxing out at like 98, 100%. So obviously there is a GPU bottleneck, which we expected. The 2400 can handle a slightly better GPU if you did decide to upgrade a system like this. But I mean, overall, it's playable. Let's go ahead and try the next game.
Okay guys, we are now playing Fortnite, the best game ever. We're in 1920 by 1080. We made sure that we put the 3D resolution all the way up to 100%. We're on custom preset, epic, view distance, and then basically everything else off or low. So let's go ahead and... All right, we're now getting out of this bus here and okay, you know, I mean, it's not smooth, but it's not terrible. We've actually seen worse.
Yeah, the frame rate around 40 is, well, as Jackson mentioned, not great. You could probably get better performance from an APU system nowadays that you could buy new from some other retailers out there, like we mentioned at the beginning of the video, but...
And have an upgrade path.
Yeah, and have that upgrade path, Ryzen, beautiful. But I mean, it looks like that i5 is actually getting hit pretty hard here too. Normally on pro settings, it is more CPU bound, but that GPU has not moved from 99%. Oh, yeah, actually did a little bit.
GPU's definitely a little bit of the bottleneck here, but it's actually, because at first we were talking like how this system was very unbalanced, the 2400 could handle a lot more, but I don't know if it's just maybe because of some updates in a lot of these games, but it seems to me like the system's actually somewhat balanced. But I'm sure that if we put a better GPU in this, you know, maybe one that's like 40 bucks more expensive than this one, we could probably actually play some games pretty decent, which we've done before. If you check out our Optiplex upgrade videos, which would be in the top right corner.
Now you see the frame rate is actually settling in around 60. We are indoors right now. Jackson's just gonna jump to his death. But I mean, that is something to keep in mind, that the frame rate isn't as crazy indoors, but we'll see if we can get an actual match and see what kind of performance we get when we're actually in a demanding situation.
Indoors. Honestly, we are not really dropping below 30 FPS, so I mean, we've done worse. We have had builds in... Okay.
Oh, we hit 11.
I take that back.
11. That was probably some hard drive lag right there.
Yeah, I mean, I would say in all honesty, I mean, this system could be upgraded a little bit. Now, do I recommend spending as much as they're asking for this? No, I mean, this is the equivalent of like $150 to $200 build at most, you know, minus like the case and the fancy crap they put on it to make you want to buy, you know, to spend more money on it for no reason.
All right, last game. All right, guys, the last game we're gonna be testing is actually Doom 2016. We didn't get a copy of the new Doom Eternal, but we are just testing the Vulkan API, which is designed to allow older computers to actually perform very well. It's way better than DirectX when it comes to giving older computers a shot at getting better frames. So we are running on the Vulkan API on low settings. So we're gonna run into this match right here, actually this campaign mode, and we're gonna see what kind of results we can get. I'm not expecting anything amazing, but this is just kind of a test to show what kind of performance you could see from a game that has an optimized API like Vulkan, which could be the future for a lot of different games coming out, and just try to give this poor computer a chance to perform well in a somewhat demanding game. So, and as I kind of expected, it's not a whole lot better. This 650 with its 1 gig of VRAM, that's one thing you have to mention, is not going to be great for this. Like, look, oh my goodness, this is pretty bad. Like, it's actually running in slow motion. Let's see. Oh my gosh. Yes. To confirm, we are running on low settings 1080p. Let's just go check that real quick just to show you guys that we are running on low settings 1080p with Vulkan. So this is not great. Jackson, come watch this. This is a great slideshow. running at like 13,
Dude, you
12
can actually
FPS.
see, like every frame.
I know, you see everything happening. So, I mean, you know, that's beautiful, right? But that GPU, man, that is the clear bottleneck in this situation. It is just screaming right now at 100%.
Dude, you could speedrun with this just because it's so slow. You can like dodge all the shots.
That's true. It's basically just like the Matrix. Oh, here we go. But yeah, definitely not great. This API did not help it all that much. The 650 is just gonna, well, 650. It's not that great of a card. So we'll run around a little bit more. Oh, we just got a random spike. Run around a little bit more, kill some people, and see if it gets any better. Not too promising though. But yeah, guys, Doom did not give this thing much of a chance at all. Kind of what we expected, and then probably what you would expect with a bunch of AAA titles if you try to play them on this PC. So yeah, that's about it. How about we go ahead and wrap this video up real quick.
Okay, so we actually just did some benchmarking of this PC, and one thing that these guys did not lie about is that it does play games.
That's it. It just plays them. Not well though, it just plays them.
In the descriptions on the Amazon and the eBay listings for these builds, they do actually list out FPS, and they do say that they're at really low settings with everything turned like all the way down, maybe even on 720p. So they don't exactly lie about the builds. I just don't get why people keep buying them.
Probably just because of this beautiful RGB. But
The case does look nice. They did a good job picking out the case.
But yeah, this build is definitely a not recommended build from us here at the Toasty Bros. We mentioned some at the beginning that we will leave in the description down below if you want to check out some other pre-builds or check out our numerous PC builds. They are going to be way better than this option, but we just wanted to go a step further than making the video that we did just looking at the listings. We actually wanted to test one of these things just to show you it's not a worthwhile buy at all.
One thing we did forget to mention when we were unboxing it, I don't really know if this adds any value to, but it does come with a Wi-Fi dongle. So if you are needing Wi-Fi, it comes with this. I guess it fell out of the box, found it on the floor, I don't know. And also, if you're wanting any PC build help or even like watching gaming, check out our Twitch using our little lower third, and then we'll also have in the description down below a link for it. Don't forget to go follow or even subscribe if you really like us over on there.
Are you looking to improve your online presence? Well, today's video sponsor, Squarespace, is the perfect option for you. Squarespace is the perfect all-in-one platform for building your online presence with built-in SEO tools, appointment scheduling, email campaigns, analytics, and even e-commerce to get your online business up and running. Their templates are extremely easy to customize to fit your brand and come in a wide range of options to choose from. We are currently in the process of taking one of the templates and creating our own YouTube channel website on Squarespace, and so far the process has been so simple and effective. You should definitely head on over to squarespace.com/ToastyBros to save 10% on your first purchase of a website or domain by using code ToastyBros at checkout. Thanks again to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video.
So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Maybe we'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.